So CNN becomes the latest big company to very quietly, just on the sly, hey, you know what? We're going to disband our race and equality team because, you know what? Yeah, business isn't good and we got to get rid of some people. And we realize those people don't really do anything. So out they go, but they're doing it on the down low. Let's get into it. Here we go. So CNN quietly disbanded its race and equality team of reporters. Imagine, what team are you on? Race and equality. Oh, what do you do? Never mind. It's tricky. Race and equality team of reporters is part of a major restructuring that included firing 100 staffers this week, according to a report. The whole thing with this DEI deal is if you're hiring people that are skilled at their job, I don't really care what race they are. It doesn't really matter to me. I could care less, right? But when you hire people based on race, that's when things go sideways. Because then you've got a company built on this whole illusion of this is going to work out great. And it is not working out well because you are filling positions based on boxes you got to check. And all these companies are recognizing, oh, yeah, maybe all this virtue signaling after the whole George Floyd thing, maybe all this virtue signaling isn't really where we want to be. There were 3 reporters that made up the CNN unit, which was created by former CNN president Jeff Zucker in the aftermath of the police killing of George Floyd in Minneapolis in 2020. One of the journalists was fired while the other 2 were reassigned to other departments, including a newsletter written by Black journalist Phil Lewis. So a network spokesperson first claimed the race and equality team was not disbanded before admitting to Lewis that it will no longer exist as a mission-oriented unit. Okay, so here's some absolute corporate doublespeak, right? So, no longer exist as a mission-oriented unit. Does it exist at all then? Is it a unit? Does it have a mission? Does it have a mission-oriented portion to its unit? We don't know. It's just a bunch. They got let go. For all intents and purposes, the team is not a team anymore. Okay, so do you have 3 individual players still playing or just you disbanded? Okay, you got rid of the whole thing. You know what canned that team. And why did you can them? Oh, because they're not really necessary, nor were they ever. If you're looking at providing good news, you don't care what color people are. You just get the best reporters in there and you go. But we have seen CNN fall from, when Trump didn't get reelected, CNN, took that huge, massive down spiral because they had predicated all of their business model on hating Trump, which at one time was a great, great model when he was president. And maybe they're going to rise from the ashes and Trump gets reelected, right? But CNN has been desperately trying to go down. All right, we're actually going to throw some good news out here instead of the drivel they had been doing for years and years and years. I mean, it was so wildly one-sided. And I'm not saying that, Fox is providing all the stories and all the angles for everyone to, take and pick from. Each one has their own agenda, right? And you got to be able to kind of look between the lines and figure out, all right, this one person, they report on this and this is their angle. Okay. You got to kind of figure it out on your own. Because if you believe all this stuff, yeah, I've got a bridge in the desert to sell you. Is that the term? They've assigned it to different areas so that their perspective and work is brought into all of our types of programming. It's not a unit in the way it was before. But race and equality is very much still their focus. But it's not a team, and it doesn't have any measurable metrics. So you fired them, and you do a bunch of double speak to get people to believe, well, this is still really important to us, because you want a virtue signal. This is really important to us, knowing full well you're fired, right? The Post has sought comment from CNN. Mark Thompson, CNN's new boss, announced Wednesday that the newsroom would be shedding around 100 jobs, nearly 3% of the workforce. They are shedding jobs because their revenue, their views are, let's just say it has not been a good run for CNN. But literally, they were a one-trick pony for so long, right? Hey, let's hate on the orange man bad. Let's hate on that dude. But, now they're actually trying to come back and do some real news. Is it a day late, dollar short? I report a lot of stuff from CNN because they will get to stories quickly. And I believe that if you can report news from somebody who gives you a very skewed angle, you take that angle and you go, all right, here's what's wrong with that, in my opinion. Okay, this other news source reported this. That's kind of how you need to approach all this stuff. Who else has been in the news lately? Microsoft. Yeah, Microsoft reportedly fires DEI team, becoming latest company to ditch woke policy. The whole shenanigans of DEI, we got to get rid of them. We got to get rid of them because, they're costing us a lot of money. We've got examples of this popping up all over. Some would say Secret Service director who stepped down on Monday. Man, last weekend was a weekend, right? You had Biden on Sunday, which I predicted. There should be a podcast or two out there with me saying days before, I think Biden will step down on Sunday, and he did. He did that. Kamala Harris just gets right back up in there. Another, some would say, DEI hire. But the Secret Service director basically steps down on Monday. Some would say a DEI hire. There were other folks that probably warranted the position that she held and were far more qualified, but she checked some boxes and let's get her in there. Let's get her in there. A couple of things from this Microsoft article that's funny. The big tech giant disbanded the DEI team at the beginning of the month due to changing business needs. Now, business hasn't changed. It just hasn't. That is absolute nonsense. But I love reading shenanigans, and that is a shenanigan if I ever saw one. Changing business needs. You're saying something. That's like Kamala Harris speak. How about the rumor that a number of networks are purposefully mispronouncing Kamala Harris's name, right? Kamala Harris. Yeah, let's just go down that road. I mean, I get what they're doing, but you know what? There's enough to point out with her speeches and, how she's talked to us like 3-year-olds to understand that you probably don't want her as a president. And if you are voting for Kamala Harris, that means you just truly, truly hate the guy who just took a bullet in the ear for freedom. Yeah, that guy. See, you hate that guy? All right, I get that. I understand that. Man, what a deal that was. Just gets winged in the air, turns his head a little bit. I mean, the Secret Service, going back to potential DEI hire, Secret Service director. She had a meeting on Monday or a hearing on Monday that was horrific. She, was not prepared, did not have answers. And it's almost like she was just a sacrificial lamb. You know what I mean? Just like, let's throw her out there. This isn't going to go well, but she's going to resign. So let's get somebody new in there that is still a DEI hire. Secret Service has been they're just getting raked over the coals, as they should. Because security, did you guys see that even AOC ripped into her? Because I think they're recognizing, that could have been one of our guys. It could have been anybody. That poor volunteer fireman who died. Trying to protect his family. Can you imagine literally taking a bullet for your family because Secret Service couldn't work out, guy on a roof that, 18 minutes before, there was a known authorities knew, all right, and an hour before, they've got footage of him just wandering around. Guy gets a ladder up there. Absolute incompetency, or somebody made that happen. Somebody let that happen on purpose, intent, right? The decision was a further sign. We're back to Microsoft now. The decision was a further sign that companies are pulling back on diversity-based initiatives that were put in place following the 2020 death of George Floyd and the subsequent Black Lives Matter protest campaigns. And I've said this many times. It seems like there is just this, this agenda out there. And, after George Floyd, everybody jumped on the whole DEI thing. Something that I've been really struggling with is I'm having to renew my broker's license, my managing broker's license, designated managing broker. So I've got to do 30 clock hours of continuing education. Man, the company the company shall go unnamed, but they're a local Bellevue company that provides typically pretty good online education hours that I can get. I need 30 hours. I need 27 hours, and I need 3 hours of some kind of essential. This is essential, Sean, to you understanding real estate. But the course study that I'm doing is a basic 30 hours. It is so woke. It is, I mean, we're learning all about racism and all this stuff. And it's like, all right, yeah, we're all pretty much aware that that happened. Now, moving forward, how about we not focus on all that, not just shove that in our, down our throats all the time, so that we're all aware of, okay, I'm white, you're not. All right, let's make this awkward. You got to get past that. And all of this DEI stuff and all this woke nonsense literally focuses on it. And that, to me, that's the downfall of all of this, is if it had an end result that really made sense, companies getting stronger, companies getting better, hey, I'm all for that. But it's the opposite. You're hiring people based on their race, not on their skill set. And that's the major complaint with the Secret Service. It's a major complaint, Secret Service director, major complaint with Kamala Harris. She's a DEI hire, some would say, right? And I do not disagree with that. Look at some of her stats as an attorney general, and you're like, yeah, what? You did what? You got there how? Willie Brown? Do I hear Willie Brown in the house? Yeah, that whole story, right? That whole story. So as the private sector is ditching DEI, but government can't let go. There's a few gems in here. So diversity is code for specified hiring and promoting quotas based on race, gender, sexuality, and similar factors. In practice, it boils down to discrimination. It absolutely does. Equity sounds like equality, an idea Americans like, but it actually means the exact opposite. Under equity, we don't treat people equally, but very explicitly treat them unequally in the name of fair outcomes, a term that means whatever the powers that be want it to mean at the moment. And it's like all of a sudden, this has been changed. We've got Tractor Supply. We have got John Deere, we got Microsoft, we got CNN, all of a sudden, all going to this position of, yeah, ever so quietly, we realize the shenanigans that this has caused, and it's just no longer needed. So as for inclusion, well, when was the last time you saw a DEI advocate demand the inclusion of Republicans, conservatives, Christians, or white males? Yeah, I'm going to have to think about that for a second and get back to you, right? It's so true. It's so true. They wanted to include everyone except the people that they don't like. And that is straight up exclusion. Yeah, look at you. Literally, look at you. You got that white skin. Yeah, we can't have that. We can't have that. Yeah, that's not acceptable. But they don't come right out and say that. By hiring policy, they go down this road. They're trying to right some past wrongs. And are there some past wrongs? Absolutely. Yes, there are. There have been. But this isn't the way to solve them, I don't believe. I mean, some of the stuff in my real estate, it's true. You've got plats that I know very well that had exclusionary terminology, basically excluded anybody from other than white people, from being in that community. But we're beyond that now. When I look around in my community in Bellevue, I see people of all different colors. I'm oftentimes the only white dude at my Trader Joe's, in the fruit section. Like, and who cares, right? As long as everybody gets along, I don't really care. It doesn't matter to me. But you go down this whole notion of, oh, yeah, well, you can't have the job even though you're best qualified for it because, look at yourself. Yeah, not good. But in fact, there's no evidence that corporate DEI efforts help the bottom line. And in fact, they've gone the other way because you've got a company filled with hires based on check marks of, not a skill set, but how people look. And that doesn't translate to good business. That translates to a hodgepodge of hires that don't necessarily help your bottom line. And when you've had inflation, when you've had all, the crazy stuff that we've gone through since the pandemic, labor costs have gone through the roof. Everything is more expensive. You've got this gyration of the workforce. Yeah, well, you guys are all working today. Oh, no. We're going to shut down the economy now. We went through all that and we're going to give you a bunch of money. Go spend that. Oh, inflation. Don't worry. We got the Inflation Reduction Act. We're going to make it all better. And then you've got 3.5 years of being basically, in my opinion, lied to that Biden was fine, when in fact we all knew that he wasn't. But he had a speech impediment, is what we're told. Oh, he's fine. And then all of a sudden, 3.5 years into his presidency, and it was painfully obvious at that debate. I mean, good Lord. I don't know what he said at the end of that last sentence. I don't think he did either. I mean, you can't make that stuff up. Just like you can't make up the fact that all of a sudden, all these big publicly traded companies are, bottom line, we need to make some more money here. And you know what? It's no longer required that we go down this DEI route. So, let's give up the shenanigans. Let's go back to business as usual. Hey, let's focus on selling tractor equipment. That's good, because the name of your company is Tractor Supply. Yeah. Crazy stuff, right? I mean, just you're left wondering, what happened? Yeah. Okay. That happened. And it's policy. It's bad policy from the get-go that you look at, kind of like Proposition 47 in California. Bad policy right out of the gate. You try it for a while, and then you realize, these are some shenanigans that we probably shouldn't have gone down, but we did. We're just going to come full circle, and we're going to virtue signal. It's still a focus, and it's still an emphasis for us, but you, the DEI hires, you're fired. All right. That's it for me on this one. Thanks so much for being here. I'll catch up with you in the next episode. Don't forget to subscribe, do all that good stuff. Check out our private channel, reasonabletv.com, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.